Okay, so I'm recording this video standing up because I'm way too excited to be recording it standing down, sitting... Yes! Paizo! 2 more classes! We haven't even gotten the 4 that you announced last year, and you've already announced what is going on. I'm sitting here thinking, oh man, 20 classes, that's perfect. 12 in the core rulebook, we had 4 in the APG, 2 in Secrets of Magic, 2 in Guns and Gears. Boom, 20 classes. That's so clean, that's a nice number. Expand, make some subclasses, but nope, we're getting even more classes. The camera's over here, I'm looking over here. I am confused. But I'm also excited, and that's why I'm making this video off the top of my head. No, I have notes, I'm lying to you. I'm just excited, and so I want to make a video talking about my top 5 potential Pathfinder 2E classes. These are the 5 classes that I think have the highest chance of being revealed at the playtest after Gen Con. And obviously, there's possibility I'm going to be totally wrong, there's possibility that my theories are super off. This is just my best bet. Feel free to tell me how wrong and terrible I am in the comments. These are going to be in order of least to most likely, so number 5 is going to be the least likely to happen in my opinion, and number 1 is going to be the most likely. Keep in mind that it's very possible that none of these could happen, and they could even make a class that never existed before, because Paizo are geniuses. But I'm guessing it's going to be something coming from Pathfinder 1st Edition, because if you already have the material, why not make it again in the new system? People won't be mad or call it rehashing, so why not? Starting at number 5, we have the Blood Rager. Now, I don't think the Blood Rager has a very big chance of coming back, and it's because it's too similar to what already exists. See, the Blood Rager is a sorcerer barbarian, and literally, all it is a barbarian that can cast spells. It has limited spell casting, so it doesn't reach 9th level spells or anything like that. It just has limited spell casting, but it can cast Blood Rager spells while raging. So even though you're raging and you can't concentrate, you can concentrate specifically on Blood Rager spells. Now, the reason I don't think this is going to happen is because it just wouldn't add enough spice to the game. Unless they built it from the ground up as a completely different class, even in 1st edition, it was basically a barbarian that had magic. There was not that much different to it. Honestly, it's just not interesting enough right now. I think it's possible, it could happen, but that's why it is number 5 on this list. Number 4 is the Shaman. Again, pretty much the same idea as the Blood Rager. Whereas the Blood Rager is just a barbarian sorcerer, the Shaman is literally just a spontaneous witch. Again, it's something that already exists in the system and would not add something interesting enough. Where the witch gets patrons, the Shaman gets spirits. Where the witch gets a familiar, the Shaman gets a spirit animal. And effectively, it's the exact same thing. Their spirit probably determines their spellcasting school. Not school, what am I saying? This is the problem without a script! Tradition, that's what I was looking for. If they were to make the Shaman in Pathfinder 2E, I'm sure the spirit would determine your tradition, or maybe it would just always be primal, I'm not sure, but then it would just become a spontaneous druid, which I guess there's room for. Aside from casters who can pick their tradition, we don't have a spontaneous primal caster yet, so there is room for that. So maybe if they made the Shaman specifically a primal, spontaneous caster, it could be possible. I'm still putting it at number 4. Number 3 is going to Slayer. Now, this has the same problems as the Blood Rager and the Shaman, albeit it's a little bit more unique in its presentation. Rather than just being something that already exists but slightly different, the Slayer is its own thing. It's a very interesting package of Ranger and Rogue together. The Slayer in Pathfinder 1st Edition sort of gets everything from both classes, just weaker and at higher levels. So for example, it does get sneak attack, but it also gets track target, which is basically hunt prey, gives you bonuses to bluff, bonuses to fighting it, and really when you think about it, that's basically outwit is the bonus to social encounters, sneak attack is almost like the precision damage from the Ranger already, so it's already sort of a Ranger that gets everything but flurry, but it gets bonuses to hit its target, at least in 1st edition it did. So really, the Slayer is sort of a Ranger Rogue, which is cool, don't get me wrong, and that's why I think it would make a cool Pathfinder 2E class, especially if they made ways to differentiate it in the system. They also got something called Slayer Talents, which were very specific to the Slayer. I'm sure those would just become feats in Pathfinder 2E, so there is going to be a lot of room to play with Slayer customization with the Pathfinder 2E feat system, so I do think Slayers have a chance to be revealed as the playtest classes, but it's still not in my top 2. And that's because my top 2 are completely different classes. They don't take something that exists and slightly tweak it. They don't combine 2 classes and call it a new one. They are entirely unique in their own right. The first one, at our number 2 slot, is the Samurai. The Samurai has so much going for it beyond just being another type of martial class. It has orders, which could easily work as subclasses. They have resolve abilities, which will work incredibly well with the focus spell system of Pathfinder 2e. Things like giving bonuses to hit or staying up when getting knocked down could make for really cool reactions that spend a focus point because they have daily uses of their resolve powers in 1st edition and they get more uses as their level goes up. The focus point system just makes sense. Also, they have challenging, which no base class has right now, where you pick one target. The champion has a few things where it's like, hey, don't hit anyone but me, but the samurais affects themselves as much. The samurai, when they challenge a target, take penalties to their armor class if someone else attacks them. The samurai is really an ultimate one-on-one combatant, and we don't have that quite yet, except a little bit in the swashbuckler and the champion. There's already room for feats with the samurai to augment their challenge. They can get an animal companion because they got one in 1st edition, so that could be an easy 1st level feat option for the samurai to have a bonded companion. There's a lot of ways they can make the samurai work, and I really kind of think it has a decent chance of being one of the 2 classes revealed in this playtest. And of course, my number 1 most likely to be in this playtest class is my Patreon? Well, while you're here, did you know you can pledge to the No Nat One's Patreon for as little as $5 a month, and any pledge of $10 a month or more gets access to my completely unique homebrew for the Pathfinder 2e system, and even the $5 pledges get access to occasional projects I work on, like this month's Monster Month, which is almost over. These monsters will be available for another month, so if you want to join and snag these monsters from the No Nat One's Monster Month TM, do that now because they will be going away at the end of October. Okay, that's all. You can go now. Thanks, Patreon. But for real, my number 1 most likely class, you've all guessed it already. Inquisitor. Of course it's going to be Inquisitor. No class has been asked for more by the fans, has been demanded, has been guessed. People thought the Inquisitor was going to come with Secrets of Magic. People didn't really think Inquisitor was going to come with guns and gears, but they were let down by it. And if there's one thing that Paizo is, it's people pleasers. Now, they don't give you everything you want, but if the fans want it, they will work their butts off to make it happen. So I am 99% positive that come Gen Con, the playtest class will be announced, and it will be, at least one of them, will be Inquisitor. Probably not both of them. But what is the Inquisitor? Well, the Inquisitor is sort of a cool cleric fighter, but not really. It's more of a martial class with some divine abilities, and it's more offensive than, say, a champion. First off, unlike the champion, the Inquisitor does get limited divine magic. In 1st edition, they never got past 6th level spells. I'm guessing it's going to be similar to the Magus and the Summoner we've seen, where they're going to have bounded spell casting that you only have about 6 slots per day max, and they scale up with you. Inquisitors are also incredible at recalling knowledge, which is such a big part of Pathfinder 2e. Deducing weaknesses and taking advantage of them is huge, and in 1st edition, they got to add their wisdom and intelligence to their ability to recall knowledge, and it might be a little weird to word, but I bet they can make that work in Pathfinder 2e as well. You know, add wisdom to your arcana checks and your occultism checks, add intelligence to your religion checks, that kind of thing would be fantastic. And just to make a perfect analysis machine, there could be so many feats that augment your ability to recall knowledge. They can have so much fun with that in the Pathfinder 2e system. Now, also in 1st edition, Inquisitors got to add half their level to intimidation checks and sense motive checks. Obviously, that's gotta be balanced, because a level 10 character adding +5 to intimidation is not okay. But I'm guessing they'll make it a feat or something, and it'll give you like a permanent +2 or something like that. It'd be kind of neat to see them pull out those intimidation and sense motive bonuses. Maybe they'll just scale faster in their class features and end legendary in perception, and I don't know, something with intimidation. Who knows? The final thing that will be big and really difficult to condense into the 2e system are the Inquisitor judgments. These are sort of quick abilities that they can just go, boom, you're judged, and now the Inquisitor gets a bonus of some kind. It can be as simple as +1 to hit, +1 to damage, +1 to armor class against an enemy. There's a lot of things they can do, and there's a huge list of judgments, and I'm sure we will not get all of them at once. So my theory is that judgments are either going to be limited down to a small list you pick from at character creation, or they'll also become focus spells because judgment focus spells would be awesome. Again, it sort of limits you to that 3 per encounter, maybe more if you have the right kind of equipment or feats, but I think judgment focus spells would fit the Pathfinder 2e system super well, and we've all been asking for it. The Inquisitor is coming to Pathfinder 2e. This is not an official statement. I don't work for Paizo, obviously, but come on. And those are my 5 possible playtest classes that'll be popping up come Gen Con. This video is going to be dated in about a month, so a month from now when we all know the classes, there will be no reason to watch this video, so watch it twice for the algorithm. Thanks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to see more Pathfinder 2e and tabletop RPG content, and leave a comment down below saying something random, like peanut fudge butter cake. That worked last time, so I'll do it again. Sincerely, thanks for watching, y'all. We just crested 15,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. I'd like to think that Paizo released these playtest classes to celebrate that accomplishment. So, thank you all so much for 15,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for continuing to enjoy my content. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, no nat ones.